Listen, following the EALI plan as laid out by Supervisor Miley's office and the consultants, and as he described earlier, the Economic Visioning Group did meet in a series of 5 meetings over a few months. Very well-attended, popular set of meetings, and a total of 71 unduplicated attendees from all the Eden area communities. We had a high of 39 at one meeting, and I think the least was 14. Average attendance at these meetings was almost 23 people. So that's very good attendance. As you all, anybody involved in the community knows that if you get like that many people at a meeting, you're doing really well. So we started off in the first meeting, very exciting, asked, well, what do we want to do? What do we need? I want to tell you, there wasn't a community there that didn't have a pony in the race. We need a plaza. We need a restaurant. We need a grocery store. And people want to start business. It's too hard. It's too expensive. We need lower fees. We need help. I mean, everybody, and it was very spread out and very specific to communities. Everybody had something they wanted for their part of the Eden area. Process worked. As in the series of meetings, we developed, I think it was 12 or 14 goals, which by the 5th meeting we had synthesized down to 3 goals. The additionals became projects under the larger overarching heading of these goals. Now, we did not bring a show to you tonight. We thought we'd save that for the Charrette. And we wanted to let you know that the executive team was formed. We wrote the preamble, which I'd like to read to you. Did everybody get a copy of this? If you have copies, I won't read it, because I'm always annoyed when people read everything up in front of it on the screen, so I'll let you take that home. But we're very proud of it. We think it says well what's important, and the idea that these 3 goals address needs for all of you. It's not just any one community. And I just want to quick check my notes. All right. I wanted to say that the team members will talk to each specific goal. One reason we're not going to show here was we hold these goals to be self-evident. Improve the look and feel of the unincorporated area. We need to look better, feel better. We know what's going to come here, all right? Promote private investment to attract both businesses and customers. There's some discussion of public, federal investment there too. And then improve infrastructure and communication technology to enhance and attract investment and customers, of course, and users. So the task force team members will now speak to each of these goals and enhance them a little further. I'm suspecting y'all understand exactly what they all mean, but we have stories in regard to each one. Right?
Hi. The Economic Development Visioning Group came up with 3 goals. Our first goal has to do with the look and feel of the community. The saying goes, you eat with your eyes first. That's where it starts. Our first impressions of other people happens in the first 5 seconds. It's hard to imagine a community is appraised, or is it hard to imagine a community is appraised by a quick drive-through? I think it's very reasonable. Number 1 goal of the Economic Development Vision Group is to improve the look and feel of the unincorporated area, to enhance the curb appeal. Some of the suggested projects are to enhance code enforcement. We've heard that brought up already tonight. By increasing funding for staffing, for code enforcement, and to prioritize proactive intervention rather than reactive. The added code enforcement has worked in our community. At the time, we had redevelopment dollars to hire extra code enforcement, and the results were more than noticeable. The feel of the entire community changed in very positive ways. We don't have those redevelopment dollars to invest right now, so we're looking at other sources, but a priority it is. Another suggested project is to implement branding and identity measures via community signage, murals, and banners. This last weekend I was walking through a community that had banners on each light pole with names of people serving in the armed forces in that community. And I thought, wow, that is a very impressive display of community pride. It was a community of 14,000. Many who work in the unincorporated have no idea that they're in an unincorporated area. This isn't San Leandro? I thought this was Hayward. By not claiming our area, we're losing the opportunity to shine. Another suggested project would be to fund and implement facade improvement programs for private commercial property. This is the look of our vision of the future. By addressing the look of the community, we can project a positive, active, and engaged population that say, we care about this place. A safe image is assuring to investors and neighbors. We care is not so hard to say with actions, but action is what is required. Investors put their efforts alongside communities making the same investment of effort. We have opportunities. What will we do with them?
Goal number 2.
Goal number 2. My name is Bernadette. I'm a Charrette resident and homeowner for 12 years. I'd like to start with a bit of a disclaimer. I actually shuttled back and forth between the prior group, agriculture and business, for the last several months, and ended up spending, I think, more time in agriculture in the beginning, and then faded off and ended up in the economic group. However, the disclaimer that I have is that although I helped to write the preamble, I didn't help to write a lot of the goals in goal number 2, although I do feel qualified to stand up here and represent it because I've worked in the private sector for now over 32 years, and I think that the importance of this goal is that why do you need a vital business community? You need a vital business community because you need jobs. Why do you need jobs? You need jobs not only because they create an income, which we all need, but equally because anybody who is employed is connected to a larger community. And beyond that, when they're connected to that larger community, they are now productive. They are doing something. So when you, as a community, if you choose this, and this is what I was thinking of, and why I'm saying large picture and not reading through all the specifics of this goal, is that when you as a community create the intention to focus on a business-friendly environment, you do more to create vitality in your community than many other things. And I have seen that witnessed in my own life. And so our proposal here in Goal 2 is to create in an incorporated area the best, most focused, most intended program to support private sector development that will create jobs. And whatever the specifics of that are probably going to be developed. But I have some storytelling. Having lived here for 12 years, I wanted to share as examples to what happens when business is not supported and when it is. I recently interviewed the owner of Sushi Land on East 14th, which is opened up about a block from what used to be Bancheros, which was a long-standing icon in our restaurant in our neighborhood. And I interviewed this gentleman who owns it, and I want to tell you, it is a true miracle that he survived. I listened to his story, and I'm not pointing fingers, I really don't know all of the specifics, but he had to get down on his knees on December 28th last year after he had spent every single dollar that he had renovating that property. And he had to get down on his knees and beg planning to get him to sign off on the permit so he could open, so he didn't go bankrupt. Something is wrong with that picture. Because now, when you go down to Sushi Land, you will find that not only is it attracting all of us, because he knows what he's doing as a restaurateur, you interview the people next to you, they're coming from all sorts of different places. If you go on Yelp and read the reviews, check it out. This is a man who had a very broad wingspan and kept flying despite the fact that he's a second language learner, and that is the profile of an entrepreneur that we will see in our area. And I do not think we have the systems in place to support that. So if you want to see more of that, that has to be in our goals that we develop. The second story I'd like to share is that, regrettably, my cleaners in Creekside, and to all the San Lorenzo, Fairview, and Castro Valley residents sitting here, I'm really sorry I don't have examples from your area. It's just that I live in Sherryland. That's my backyard. So my apologies there, but my cleaners that helped me find my last job, because I took my suit or my thing to him at the last minute and he cleaned it, and I interviewed the next day and got the job. I was out of work for 5 months. He's gone. And he's gone because there's an issue going on at Creekside Property Management. I, again, don't want to point fingers, but the whole point of this goal is, if we as a community or as a county decide that in the unincorporated area, that any existing business or new business that wants to come in can come to us, that we have created a structure, a process that will that will help them succeed. And
structure with the idea that we would improve street improvements, sidewalks, public plazas, and infrastructure is important to attract private investment. Second piece of the puzzle is to expand broadband and Wi-Fi capacity and availability. I've been working for about 1.5 years with Pat Kennedy of OSI Software in San Leandro and Supervisor Milam. Pat is the guy that is putting the dark fiber loop around San Leandro. For those of you who don't know what dark fiber is, it's basically fiber optic cable. Pat has figured out a way, and he's doing this as a private investment in partnership with the city of San Leandro. Pat has figured out a way to use the conduit that is under the street in San Leandro that they run the traffic signal lights, all the electrical conduit that runs the traffic signals, can also accommodate a fiber optic cable that's about this big. Fiber optic cable is just what it says it does. It runs data at the speed of light. And it is a magnificent tool for business attraction. Pat bought $3 million worth of fiber optic cable. He's strung it around San Leandro. It's a 12-mile loop that runs data, and it's able to pick up, I think you can hook up for about $100. It's a business-oriented loop. It's not for residential use. It's strictly a business-oriented loop. You can use about 3 or 4 different internet service providers, and it attracts the kind of people that are users of large data, media entertainment people, communications people, incubators. Pat runs a company called OSI Soft. OSI Soft is a worldwide organization that does process management software for large processing plants. And he stayed in San Leandro, he lives in San Leandro, his business is there. He has 700 people who work for him throughout the world. And he wanted something that would enable him to get his data out across the world in a very timely fashion. The speeds that he is talking about are unimaginable. My Comcast runs maybe at 45 megabytes. His fiber optic cable runs at up to 1,000 megabits per second. That's a factor of 1,000. And it has capacity to go up to 10,000 megabits per second. I can well imagine kids at the new teen center in Ashland that are potential computer game designers, a graphic designer that's sitting over in the San Lorenzo Library, a little girl that wants to be a graphic designer, doesn't have the speed to put her ideas into motion. The doctors that are coming into the new Diversio Vasquez Health Center on East 14th Street that need to have patient record access very quickly, need to get your x-rays, need to get your past history, all of the electronic health records that are coming in. All of those kinds of folks can use that kind of capacity, and it will draw people to the area. We did a survey, Pat and his group did a survey with the assistance of the Business Owners and Managers Association, which is a commercial real estate group. And they said that 61% of commercial owners report that having broadband is a huge advantage, that broadband is the most important selling point in commercial real estate. What our group is recommending as one of our projects is that we support this initiative to bring dark fiber to all of our communities, to all of the commercial areas of our communities, and bring us the kind of jobs that will follow. Thank you.